alive, make me alive, and make me alive, make me alive. Make me alive, make me alive, and make me alive, make me alive.
One. Hello, we don't see us at all. Why don't we see us? This is strange. Hello, welcome everyone. Right now we can't see us, and I'm going to fix that in a second. Hope everyone's having a good night, and hope you can at least hear us all.
If I am not me, then who am I?
If I am not me, who am I? Ladies and gentlemen, trying to figure it out. Give me a second. Why can't I see us? I don't know what happened.
Yes,
I thought I did, my bad. Producers here.
Hey, everybody.
We are okay.
Everyone remain calm. This is an AMSR stream. ASMR? ASMR. I think it's right. Yeah. So just close your eyes for the next 90 minutes. You are ours. We are yours. and I will be walking you through the elegant
Is that
sounds
right? That
of
was
wrestling,
my bad.
chair shots, craniums, sweat dripping, the ring, the vibration of the bell
Huh?
as you ring it, the 10-bell salute, and someone dies. The southern twang of Jim Ross welcoming you into their homes. Taz humming along to the latest theme song. That is Ruby Soho. Sting falling down from the rafters as the snowflakes hit your gentle face. Caress you as you feel the adrenaline rush through your body, and the Lucha Brothers leave AEW or WWE. But for some reason, keep
Thank you.
Alex
I'm
Abraham
sorry.
here. We are stuck. And with that, we are here. Hello. Are we here? I cannot
I
tell.
think we're here now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Sharpshooter.
A little variety for your stream.
We are so sorry about that quick interruption and quick technical difficulties. I just couldn't get the video up, and we had to get the producer in here at the last second. But we are back. We are ready to go. Before we start, Juice, can you explain to everyone what's on the pin down below?
Sure. So the pinned comment in the chat and down below, or wherever you're looking on your devices, we're here to plug another fellow show of ours. It is a podcast that is done on Facebook called Till 5 Wrestling. There are some friends of ours, some friends of the show. We have Aaron Bird, aka Mr. Notorious, and his co-host, which I apologize, I do not remember his name at this time. I will get ripped for that next week, I'm sure. But they host a show they've just started, and next week they run it on Fridays. Next week their show is going to be a retrospective on the full career of Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness, where they will be recapping and reviewing all of their matches. And yours truly, the Juice Box, will be on the show with them, streaming, I believe, live, and we'll be on there taking any questions. So I just wanted to take a second here, put their link in the channel. By all means, please do subscribe, please do support, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys on the show. They do it every Friday. I think it's taped at this point, but I think next Fridays will be live with yours truly, another guest on the show. So it'll be fun. It'll be a nice recap of Danielson versus McGuinness, especially following Grand Slam. So it'll be a few days removed from that. But
Yeah, it's gonna
just a
be
quick
pretty
plug for that.
dope. I'm excited for you. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so again, Till 5 Wrestling is their name. Definitely check them out. New show, but pretty cool vibe. I like what they're doing. It's just two guys talking wrestling. Who would have thought that concept would have worked, you know?
Right? Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wild.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another week, and as we start this time, I have a actual trivia question that is correct. So we are ready to go. Are you all right?
I'm dying.
We're falling apart tonight. This might not have been a good night to do all.
No, let's go. Let's do this.
All right.
We rally.
Here we go. So, since we're talking about Hall of Fame, I figured we talk about Hall of Fame trivia questions. So,
Ooh,
everyone knows the first
big claim.
inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame was Andre the Giant. Who was he inducted by?
Oh, come on.
Think
Shit.
about it. If anyone in the chat knows, I'm going to give you two guesses. After the first guess, I'll tell you why.
Okay, well, first off, I don't know if you know this. What year was that Hall of Fame ceremony? Is that 95?
That was 93.
3, and it was Andre being inducted. See, they didn't. I don't know if they did it as strict as they do it now or whatever.
Remember, he was the first one. So, like,
Oh yeah, I know.
they were just trying something.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Mean Gene. I don't know if that's right.
Jay DeFalco says Hogan or Heenan. All are incorrect so far. I'll give you a second guess. The hint is this is a little bit of a trick question.
I was going to do the next thing. I was going to say nobody, but I don't think you're going to go that cheap with your answer. We'll see. That was my first thought. My first thought was nobody, because I don't even think they did like a ceremony or anything. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say nobody.
Ah, thank God. You weren't looking at me. I literally was nodding my head as you kept like looking around and saying nobody. He was inducted by nobody. The first inductee into the Hall of Fame was just a announcement on pretty much Raw, and like the ceremony was on no ceremony took place, and his inductee was just like announced on Raw pretty much.
I didn't know it, but I knew it. I was like, wait a minute. I knew they didn't do the whole like pomp and circumstance.
No, 100%. I was really curious into it. I was like, that's gonna be too easy, the first inductee, but I wanted to keep it Hall of Fame. And I didn't want to go like too hard and be like, who inducted this person? So I was like, that might be like a good easy one that might like mess with him.
I thought you were gonna hit me with first TNA Hall of Fame induction.
No, I figured you know that.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
We'll
okay.
Yeah, we'll save that for another week.
Just making sure. All right, so we are talking about Hall of Fame this week, and I'm very excited for this. We are talking about our own personal Hall of Fames for AEW. If we were imagining, since we are coming up on the 5-year anniversary in about 2 weeks, we were imagining what their first Hall of Fame class would look like. So myself and Juice each made our own Hall of Fame class to present to you all. So we're going to do it one at a time, I assume, correct?
Yeah, I'll let you go. Yeah, I'll let you go first. From there, I'll read off mine, and then either along the way or afterwards, I do have some fan submitted Hall of Fame classes as well through our socials.
Dope.
They reached out and let us know which class, what they would do. So I'll read those off. But again, that link tree down below has all of our socials there. Has our YouTube, Twitter machine, no Facebook, but I use my own Facebook, so you can always reach out to me on there. And yeah, we plug everything on there. We talk about what we're going to be doing on the show. So I feel like we're trying to do that a lot more lately, get some input from people in advance on what their list would look like compared to ours. And we'll read them off on the air. And also, if you're here now in chat, put it in chat and we'll talk about it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So the only rule we really had here was 5 acts within AEW. So it didn't have to be like, you didn't have to do like Matt and Nick Jackson or whatever. You could do a tag team as a unit or a stable as a unit. It didn't have to be a wrestler. It could be whatever 5 acts you wanted to put into the Hall of Fame. So I'm already in full disgust of your Hall of Fame, Danny, because you're using the WWE logo.
That's not true. That's not true. I thought so too. And then the WWE one is a new one, so I used the old one. So therefore, I'm good. I'm safe. No, I'm safe.
It's still WWE.
No, I'm safe. I'm all right.
Oh.
I was, truth be told, I was looking for like Hall of Fame just from anywhere and anything, and everything I found just wasn't really working. So I was like, I don't even care about this first page. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. Let's just worry about the other pages after. So that's what I'm concerned with, is the other pages.
All right. So let's see your Hall of Fame inductions. And again, it doesn't have to be a long reason why. It depends whatever you prepare. Just
so
share
mine,
with us.
before I get started, mine are going to be pretty obvious. I feel like mine, I went kind of all in, so to speak, on the first Hall of Fame. Boo. Oh, wait, I got you. There you go. So I know it's going to be just kind of like pretty obvious ones, but I don't care. It's my Hall of Fame, and I really wanted to make sure it was perfect. All right.
It's all opinions, man. It's whatever. Like, you're the Booker, man. You're in charge. It's your Hall of Fame
careful
class.
with that. I'm not careful with that, Booker, man. All right. Here we go.
Huh?
You don't remember? Oh, I don't think you would know that. The Brian Pillman, Kevin Sullivan thing with Booker, man.
Oh.
Oh man, I have to look that up to make sure I get it like really right. But there was like a famous like thing with them where he was calling him out for being the Booker and shit. It was great. So, AEW Hall of Fame, starting off with, I think, the most obvious. They started it. They won a bunch of accolades as they've been going. 2-time AEW World Trio Champions. They were the first ones. They have an AEW World Heavyweight Champion in there. 4-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. First Triple Crown winner. Oh, we can't see the bottom. And it says that they are the EVPs it has to be the Elite as the first inductee to the AEW Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Okay.
I just want to see the reaction.
Yeah, no, I mean it makes sense. I definitely get the angle, on them. I mean they were the ones that founded it and all that, so it makes sense for them to get into the Hall of Fame and be there.
I
So
figure
yeah,
nice, easy, put them all together. Let's not give them their own spot. They came in together. They started together. They can go in together. No big deal.
Okay.
I'm not going to do a WWE thing either. They don't get their own separate ones. They're in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
They're fine.
Ooh.
They're fine.
Ooh.
All their accomplishments are there, so they don't need their own separate one. We're good. All right, here we go. Next up, really the first big signing for AEW, the inaugural AEW champion, recent FTW champion, creator of the Inner Circle, the Jericho Appreciation Society, and unlike my fellow host, I recognize the learning tree. We have Chris Jericho, ladies and gentlemen. Who, by the way, we'll get more into it. A couple of you guys were saying, and by you guys, and a couple I mean specifically you and Matt, because that's the only one I talked to, that he's like lost a step and yada, yada, yada. That match last night, I liked it. I don't know about you. I thought he did pretty well. Wasn't his best, but we'll see what happens. All right. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of big signings, next up, we have a 3-time AEW champion, the only 3-time AEW World Champion, former AEW International Champion, and half of the founder of the Blackpool Combat Club. We got Mr. Jon Moxley. Have to get him in there. I figure first real big signing after they created that big Double or Nothing promo video was awesome. Everyone got so hyped, and then since then was one of actually probably the biggest workhorse for a number of years to start off, and just always the consistent guy for them. So
even with the pandemic,
really liked what he did.
Yeah, solid so far. All solid choices. I mean, they all make sense to be in there. So be in there one day for sure. Can't argue any of it so far.
And then I got my penultimate one. I was debating who I wanted to main event this, and it was really going back and forth between like a real fan favorite for me and then another real fan favorite. One's been there longer. I think one has bigger impact recently, so it's a lot of recency bias. It's a lot going on. So penultimate, I decided to go with who I think has taken over for Jon Moxley as the workhorse of AEW. 2-time AEW International Champion, the longest reigning one. Best friends, the conglomerations, always on TV. I think Mr. AEW, I'm going with Orange Cassidy.
Okay. I think this is your bias coming through a little bit.
Fully admit.
I'm a huge OC guy. I mean, yeah, sure. One day, first class ever though. I don't know if I'd make him make the cut here, but he's great. He's great. I don't know. I
figured that was gonna be the one you were about. And the last one, 100% recency bias, 100% fan favorite bias, but just the impact overall in wrestling, just the fact that he's finally gotten the World Heavyweight Championship.
Brandon Cutler.
We got it to Bryan Danielson as my main event of the inaugural class of the Hall of Fame.
Okay. All right, yeah.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Elite. We got Chris Jericho. We got Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, and Bryan Danielson. Thank you very much.
All right. I like the class. I like it.
Thank you.
Besides, and even Orange. I mean, listen, talent-wise, they're all A+. They're all going to get in one day. Whenever they do it. Honestly, I think, truthfully, they'll probably wait 5 more years.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's when they'll start doing a 10-year one, like a 10-year anniversary. I think that's when you can really dive into a Hall of Fame.
That's what I say. I think 5 is way too early anyway, so I don't think you want to do it at 5. 10-year, you're going to have some guys who are definitely retired. You're going to have Sting being gone for a while, so probably getting Sting in there for one of them is going to be really, really dope. So, yeah, it's going to be good for them.
I think TNA waited 10 years themselves. I think that's probably why I feel like that's a good like timeline because like obviously with WWE I wasn't watching by the time they were already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
ECW never really did ones. Ring of Honor never really did one until like way after the fact.
Yeah.
They waited like a long time.
Yeah, I know.
I think they only did like one.
Wasn't theirs just like 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, they just did their first class like recently, like 20-year anniversary. Either way, yeah, it's a good class. I like it. So my class now
very different.
very, very, very different from
Very
yours, and also from everybody else's in the community chat.
So what I'm going to say was, I think, not spoiling anything, I think you went more realistic, where I went more fantasy. Because obviously most of my guys aren't even going to be in Hall of Fame because they're not retired or anytime soon, whereas most of your guys are legitimately like a Hall of Fame class that I would like normally think of.
And that's kind of what my mindset was. Like I was thinking, okay, like the Hall of Fame is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't, it's AEW Hall of Fame, but it's not to celebrate. Like, I don't like putting people in the Hall of Fame that are like still going and still like in a prime and still really like killing it.
Like Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Well, you said in his prime and stuff, so number one Rey Mysterio podcast.
He can go in the Hall of Fame now. He's had his fun.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
My point exactly being made. So I'll get started. First, and I'll do mine first, and then I'll read off the communities. But honestly, my 5 don't line up with anybody else's 5, so I find it pretty crazy. So I don't think I'm not trolling. I didn't do anything out of hatred here. I legit think this would be a good first class. So
I like all your class. I have one question when we get to it. There's only one where I'm just like, well, for 5 Jack Perrys.
5 Jack Perrys.
You have Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, the Scapegoat. I don't know the other two, though. I don't know what the other two would be.
It's Jack Perry with Luchasaurus and Jack Perry with Chris Dunn.
Gotcha. Just those two individually. Got it. All right, here we go.
All right, let's go. So the headliner for my Hall of Fame is the one, the only Stang. I'm surprised.
Nice shirt.
I'm surprised nobody put him on their list. I mean, he's the no-brainer. He is the first true legend of AEW. 29-0 in his matches, retires AEW World Tag Team Champion. He got the final run that no one thought was going to happen. Yeah, I think he's hands down the headliner, the guy. So I'm surprised nobody went with him, but I figured he'd be the layup pick.
So I will say 2 reasons why I think why not a lot of people went with him. First, that whole fantasy thing of just like you're thinking of like active guys who are like world champions and stuff like that first. So a lot of that list, even my list was 3 world champions or 4 world champions. So, that's kind of one reason. And then also, Sting's part of a lot of Hall of Fames. So like Sting kind of did this in TNA, and that's why like I think for some people who have watched TNA, this isn't like, oh my god, I can't believe Sting did this. Is like, oh shit, Sting's doing this again. Like WCW happened, then no one expected Sting to come back because he didn't sign with WWF. Then all of a sudden he's in TNA, makes a crazy run in TNA. Then everyone's like, all right, he's done. Then comes to WWE, has some good matches before the fucking injury. Or one good match, maybe. Then goes to AEW. I forgot they only let him do one match. Then they go to AEW, and, like, the magical run continues. It's like, this guy just doesn't go away. So it's like, for me, it's not, oh my God, a magical run. It's like, holy shit, this is what he does. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again somewhere.
Yeah, I just think this was the first, I think this was the first true legend AEW had, and, like, they sent the template and the blueprint for like, hey, this is how we're going to treat a legend going out and retiring, and we're going to see it now with Danielson coming up. So I just think the legacy he played in AEW and elevating AEW was important. I think it was a big deal. It's going to elevate a Darby. I think it did a lot of good. So
no, for sure. And like I said, I don't argue it. I'm just saying I think that's why. Also, I will argue Jericho might be the first real legend that they got.
Well, he's still going. But either way, we can. Yeah.
All right, just being
All
a
right.
jerk.
We can go to the next one.
Next up,
We have. Sorry, I don't see it until it's on my screen.
really? It's not up already?
Well, not in the Discord, so only on here, and it's on a delay on the Twitch. So, Brody Lee, another one that I'm surprised nobody went with. I get it's the posthumous pick to put in, but I feel like he's another no-brainer, someone that should go in, if not in the first class, very early on. But I mean, time was short, but still, founder of the Dark Order, second ever TNT champion, taking out Cody. Yeah, it's a lot of what could have been, but I feel like that was the first like huge, true challenge for AEW, besides the pandemic, of course. But I think this just showed the locker room rallying and becoming what they were, and I think it helped everyone really come together. And yeah, I just think he deserves it.
See,
I think he'll get it.
I always, if Brody's in, would Jay? Sorry, I was just reading the comment. If Brody's in, would Jay Briscoe be in for the limited AEW's ROH work? That wouldn't be possible because they specifically wouldn't let them work on AEW because of Jay Briscoe. So I doubt they'd put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'd say no to that, only because he only did the TR trilogy on pay-per-views. I don't think he was ever on AEW TV because the network didn't want him on. So yeah, I don't think Jay would get on.
So funny enough, this isn't the pick I was going to talk about, but then as it came up, I was like, actually, this is another one where, just because I'm not a big, and I don't know if I'm going to sound like a piece of shit saying this, but like, I'm not a big, just because you died, you get in Hall of Fame kind of guy. And like WWE does that a lot, and I'm not too big on that because in my opinion, like the Hall of Fame is for like a bona fide legend in that company that's been there for a while and done a number of things. And if you have a stint that's less than a year wrestling, like it's kind of hard to put you in the Hall of Fame in my opinion. And granted, I love Brody Lee. Great stuff. A posthumous pick, if that's what I don't know how you say it. I think I said that right. But if that's what they decide to do, then 100% should be in there. And you're right. Everything he's done, the spirit of AEW, he's done a lot for that after the fact. But just like when I think of a Hall of Fame, that's what I try to think of. I think of accomplishments more than presence. If that makes sense. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying why I didn't do that.
Yeah, you know what, Danny? No, you are right. You do sound like a piece of shit. I'm kidding. But no, I understand where you're coming from. It was a short time, not a long time, but I think it was still effective for the impact and the history and legacy of AEW. Like that episode that they dedicated to him was something unlike anything WWE's ever done for a tribute episode.
For sure.
You can't. Because even when they do tribute episodes, like,
but bro,
they still take breaks from
the Eddie episode was pretty on par. They did a lot of breaks, but they did a lot of good matches for him. I would say the Eddie episode is pretty good. Like, I agree with you. They do a lot of bad episodes, but
yeah,
I give credit where it's due for WWE. I think that's the one they did well that I would put on par with. Like, when the Brody one was happening, I kept thinking of the Eddie one because of all, like, the segments, them real reactions, the great matches for him. Like, I think that's exactly what they did with Brody. You could argue better. I don't know. But I'm just saying. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just think, again, I'm thinking about the legacy of AEW. And I think something like this defined them in a sad but overall positive way, unfortunately.
They did it great.
So yeah, I think in terms of his legacy and everything they've done so far for him with like the shoes and the figure and the game and just everything with his legacy, I mean it lines up. It's in the only time I think most people get mad with WWE putting in people that passed away isn't because they're putting them in. I think it's because they waited so long to put them in when they weren't alive.
That's fair.
I think that's why a lot of heat comes with putting in dead people. It's because, like, oh, why'd you wait until, like, the 90s? Like, you could have put them in. 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 You could have like Vader, like you had to wait until whatever, things
Yeah,
like that.
that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so the next one I think should be smoother. I think we'll be in agreement. It's the one that I actually put on my list that lined up with everybody else.
I know,
So
that's funny.
I got one, but it's pretty much the same mentality. It's Chris Jericho, first ever AEW World Champion, founder of the Inner Circle, the Jericho Appreciation Society, and no other stables that I could think of.
Sir.
So
Sir.
I think it's very simple, very worthwhile. We already talked about it. Chris Jericho absolutely makes sense to be in the Hall of Fame when they do
For
it
sure.
first class.
I think with that, Jericho, there just AEW doesn't get to that hot start it gets off to because there's not as many eyes on it. So, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yep. All right, next one. Let's go.
It's up. I don't know. Oh, wait. Hold on. Yeah, I'm on.
No, that's okay. It's okay.
You good?
Again, I can't see it until it pops up on the Twitch feed, and that's like on a delay for me.
Oh, yeah. So you're good. I'll let you know. It's up.
Yeah. All right, next one. Good old JR. Jim Ross. I'm going with a commentator here. I know the only other person that put in the commentator in their list on the community list was Excalibur.
I was going to say, I'm surprised not Excalibur.
Yeah, I mean, again, one day, but I'm thinking of now if I'm doing a class, I think Jim Ross deserves all the accolades in the world. I think he's the GOAT, and I think even though you had Excalibur there kind of steering that ship, again, like Jericho, bringing in JR's voice helped add this legitimacy to what AEW could be and would be. Like from day one, you heard him talking, like it meant something versus just hearing a bunch of nobodies that you don't know what to make this brand what it is. So
Yeah.
I think JR is very deserving of being in any Hall of Fame in any company he's ever touched. So yeah,
Nice. No Tony Schiavone. Anyway, last but not least.
yeah. Last but not least, this
He's
one, we got Dustin Rhodes coming in. Again, this is one from early on, and it kind of goes with JR a little bit too. I mean, it's early on he was there with Cody, stole the show at Double or Nothing. That was their first pay-per-view. Wasn't even the main event that night, but that was the match everyone was talking about for like an entire summer. Like while they were building up to the TV show, that was it. So I think that carried a lot of weight. I think even though he hasn't had a lot of career-defining things in AEW, he's still been there as a coach, helping out backstage, doing things like that. And again, it's like JR, where I think he just deserves acknowledgement for everything he's done. And as far as I can recall, he's not even in the WWE Hall of Fame yet. So assuming
Which
they
he's
don't
going to
go
be,
in-
just, I think, with,
but
with
assuming
AEW, he's
they
not
don't
gonna go in.
like, yeah, so like he's gonna go in here first, I would think. So that's why I threw him on there. I think again he deserves to be in there. So Dustin, that's my 5. So go to the next slide and show off my Hall of Fame class. Again, very different from everybody else, but yeah, went with Sting, Brody Lee, Chris Jericho, JR, and Dustin Rhodes. So I know it doesn't look like the AEW exclusive talent to define what
I was
AEW is
literally
to a lot of people.
thinking of your list and my list and going to ask you the same thing. Do you think our lists are too quote-unquote WWE heavy?
Don't. I mean, because the only one here that's really WWE, like the last 3.
I was going to say
like
you
the
got
WWE
3 out of 5. I also have 3 out of 5. I have 2.5. It depends how you count Bryan Danielson, but I have 2 to 3 out of 5.
Listen, I think you add on 5 more years. You take my list and your list and put them together. Take out like 3 or 4 of them. That's
They're
the
all
class.
going in. Yeah.
That's
So
going to be it.
brings me to my next question then. There's two names on each of our lists, or at least 2 names, sorry, together that are definitely going to WWE, definitely going to AEW. Oh, sorry, potentially should be locks for WWE and AEW. That would be Chris Jericho, Dustin Rhodes / Goldust, and you can argue Bryan Danielson / Daniel Bryan. Of those 3, who's going into which one first?
Call me crazy. Someone can fact check this. I think Danielson's already in WWE.
Is he in WWE already?
Pretty sure they put him in when he retired.
That's
all those
crazy.
times. I'm pretty
That's
sure
hilarious. I didn't think he was in already.
be-
I'll double check right now. You're probably right. I didn't think he was in
Could
already.
be wrong, but I think he's in. So you're asking
So
one
then,
would be in?
out of Dustin and Jericho, Do you think they go to WWE first? Do you think they go to AEW first? Which one do they get inducted into first?
Well, if we're thinking 5 years from now with
Well,
AEW, I would think.
Yeah, so let's assume AEW does theirs in 5 years. Let's say Jericho, but that doesn't mean Jericho and Dustin retire in 5 years. They might retire before that. So technically, WWE would have a shot at them before AEW.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to look up this Hall of Fame thing for.
I don't think either of them go to WWE before an AEW one. If they're still on good terms with Tony and AEW in any way, I don't think they run to the WWE Hall of Fame first if the AEW one's coming up.
Interesting.
So while you're looking it up, I'm going to read off. All right, I'm going to read off some community list here. So first off, we have from Steve, in no particular order. He has Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Excalibur, Adam Page, and MJF on his list.
So I was going back and forth between Adam Page, MJF. I figured would need a few more years because I don't know why. But I thought MJF would need a few more years for some reason.
Yeah. Richard writes the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Excalibur, Kenny Omega. Honestly, I don't see Cody ever getting in.
You think he'll never get in?
No.
Really?
I don't.
That's interesting.
Same with Punk. I don't see either of them getting in.
Respectfully to Punk, Punk's stint there was short. There's more of an argument for Punk not getting in than Cody. Cody should be a lock. Punk, I can see what the argument is for.
They should both be locks, truthfully, but no, I don't think either of them get into it. Either way, Harley, who looks like former WWE superstar Bryan Danielson, who now works with AEW, recently stated that he has no interest in being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yep. So
I know you copied and pasted, but it looks like an AI wrote that.
Then it looks like he'll be going to the AEW Hall of Fame before the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I guess I just assumed that they probably threw him in. I'm probably thinking of Connor's Cure stuff.
That's fair.
But either way, all right. Next up, we have from Mike. He writes Jericho, Bucks, Omega, Cody, MJF. So again, everyone really followed your kind of same mentality, and I get it. I couldn't do it because everybody, I feel like they're all still wrestling and going, and it's hard for me to put them in a Hall of Fame right now.
Oh no, for sure. I'm just thinking of whatever reason, fantasy world, we're doing the first Hall of Fame. Who deserves to be just the first 5 names recognized? That's kind of how I did it.
Yeah, I can't knock it at all. It's not how I would personally do it if I was in charge of the Hall of Fame. But if they were all hey, we're retiring, I'd be all right, let's go. Kevin writes Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy as well, and Moxley. Those are his 5. So again, everyone stayed in the same wheelhouse, but that's why I felt so weird. I'm reading these. I'm like, wow, I'm way off base, I guess.
And then you see mine, you're like, wait a second, what the hell's going on?
Maybe I did something wrong. And then the last list I have here, by the way, also, again, if you're in chat, you have a list. Share your top 5 Hall of Fame, not top 5, but your Hall of Fame classic.
Well, Jay DeFalco already said 5 Jack Perrys, so he put his in the chat.
He's out then. All right, the last one I have is from Annette. Annette writes Young Bucks, Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. So, again, everyone stayed in that wheelhouse. I think you're the only one that really cheated and did the Elite as a trio.
Yeah, man. I want to get more people in the Hall of Fame the first time around, bro.
Cheated. But OC shouldn't be in there either way. Yeah, so I think that's our Hall of Fame segment. I like it. I truthfully think if I cut JR and Dustin and you cut Orange and who else did you have? I guess Danielson. If you did my 3 and that 3, that's 6, I think that's a great class for 5 years from now.
Yeah, because I don't think Omega is lasting, especially with all the injuries now.
Actually, well, no, you can cut your Jericho because I have Jericho.
Yep. I don't think Omega is going to be lasting because he's hurt now, so I don't think he's lasting 5 more years. And then the Bucks, who knows what the Bucks are doing? But
fuck the Bucks.
Well, fuck the Bucks.
I said what I said.
Rude, sir. All right, let me get off.
All right,
that screen. Sweet. That was awesome. All
good.
right, no, that was dope.
Yeah.
Very, very happy about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever thoughts you have, please let us know. It would be great if you could also give a little sub to us, so this way you can let us know that you really like us, because we need subscriptions. We're only at 3. Our goal was 10. We reached 10, and then I think we all just forgot to resubscribe. That happens. People forget to resubscribe. It has to be a monthly thing. If you just go down there and click resubscribe, it goes right back to us. If you have Prime Video, it doesn't cost you a cent. I believe we are still in September.
Yes, because it is September.
I was being sarcastic.
That's a play on words.
Being sarcastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you can, let us know. Helps us out. Doesn't cost you a thing. Would be great. If you click on the link tree below, you see our other stuff. YouTube. What else do we have? I don't even know.
We have YouTube. We have Twitter. Those are our socials, and we also have our Twitch right here. And again, just in case you didn't know, September means you get 25% off on any of your normal subscriptions. So while Amazon Prime gives you a free sub, if you don't have Prime or use it elsewhere, you can use them as we really would appreciate it. We're just here to pay the bills and survive off of our 8 cents a day. Please help. No.
Speaking of paying the bills, we are going to take a quick ad break and come back to talk about AEW, WWE this past week in wrestling. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Now we get into the big talk, our usual segment. Where's Matt at?
Big talk, big talk.
Matt's not here though, so we just call it This Week in Wrestling until Matt comes back.
Yes.
So, we usually start with WWE because that's what Juice hates more. So we get that out of the way quicker.
It gets out of the way.
It gets the axe. So we're going to start off as we always do, right from last week where we left off with WWE SmackDown. Hello, Maverick. My dog just decided to come inside and make himself known. Maverick, can you close the door? I guess not.
Yo, throw some ones in the chat from Maverick. Look at that little tail wagging.
Come on, Maverick. You want to come say hi to the chat? Come here. Come on. Hurry up. This is dead air time, Maverick.
His time is over. He had his moment. It's over. All right. Friday Night SmackDown.
It's never over. It's never over.
Friday Night SmackDown of the new USA era.
Of the new USA era. First off, the logo. I do like the logo.
I'm speaking.
I do like the logo. I think it's a nice logo. It's a little different, a little change, but I think it was good.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. At first, I was like, whatever. But honestly, I don't really like those like too clever for their own good designs where they use one letter to show two words. No, I'm serious. I mean, I'd say this about any company that did it. I really don't like it. I think it's easy and it's tacky. So, like,
okay.
Now, welcome to a Friday Night Mac.
The theme, I agree with you, horrible. I do not like the new theme.
Making the Stallion, come on, man.
No, it's bad. So,
of course, whatever.
New SmackDown starts off with 15 minutes of no wrestling. Triple H comes out, introduces us to the new SmackDown. How could he not?
Poor guy. He probably got forced out there. He wanted nothing to do with it. He just wanted, poor homeboy just wanted to sit in Gorilla.
Well,
they won their matches.
I think what it was is that he wasn't sure if people on the new SmackDown knew what a cage match was, so he was introducing the cage and showing it lowering and stuff like that. I think that's really why he helped. I also think WWE is lowering the cage before the entrants come out. After AEW, you try to use the cage to kill each other in the Swerve versus Adam Page match.
Wait, they tried to do that?
No, I'm joking. I said they lowered the cage before Cody and Solo came out because they didn't want that to happen. So, Cody and Solo, cage match, not a bad cage match, pretty good. Cody wins, clean, no interference. Then after the cage match, they attack. Rome comes out to help, yada, yada, yada. So, after that, this is where, this is going to sound funny how I say it, this is where it starts getting downhill. Not like it's not already been downhill, but this is where it starts going downhill, where
so the shovels are out.
The shovels are out, where Nick is in the back being interviewed and is saying how he knows how to solve this problem. And he's telling, I forget who's interviewing him, that he's going to set up a tag team match between Roman and, it was presented to him by Solo. I think that's what it was. It was presented to him by Solo. He's going to set up a tag team match between Roman and Cody versus Solo and Fatu. And apparently Cody was just like listening outside his office because he comes in, he doesn't ask him anything, just says, "I'm done with the bloodline. I'm not signing that contract," and walks away. No big deal.
Smart.
Whatever.
Smart man.
Right?
Smart man.
Moves on.
So far, so good.
So moving on through the night. Next match that matters to anyone of us is A-Town Down Under versus Kevin Owens and a mystery partner. I don't know if you saw this on social media.
Ricky
makes his debut and then gets stunnered because right when the match is about to start, the ring announcer calls over Kevin Owens and lets him know that the partner he actually wanted just showed up, so he doesn't need Ricky anymore. So he stuns Ricky, gets Ricky the hell out of the ring, and out comes RKO. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are back, baby.
I really hope that Randy got fined for showing up late.
Very late.
Television. Because, Young Bucks would never let that slide.
But and now, I don't know if you've seen...
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
man. But now I don't know if you've seen this internet fantasy match of Ricky versus James Ellsworth. Because James Ellsworth debuted when the SmackDown Live debuted back in the day.
I have a question. These fantasy people matches you speak of, are these Make-A-Wish kids in comas, or what's the deal? Who's coming up with these? Who's fantasy?
These are some Facebook group people, man. Some of these Facebook groups are interesting people.
All right, Danny, you have two options. You either got to get out of these groups, you got to get these groups into this chat so I can yell at them and tell them how stupid they are. Please, one or the other. Pick a lane.
Oh, God. All right, after that, Andrade and Carmelo Hayes wrestle. I think Andrade did win, and LA Knight confronted Andrade. I think they're going to start their own little feud. And then
aren't they fighting for the belt tomorrow?
I believe so.
Look at me.
I don't think they announced it last week. They probably announced it, or maybe they did announce it last week. I don't remember. It wasn't that. Andrade, I don't really care about. I've told you that already. So once he was on, I didn't really care.
Andrade.
And then the final segment, and this is where, man, like, again, I keep trying to give it a shot just to be unbiased, and they keep just letting me down over and over. It's so bad. So Roman comes out, starts kind of promo where he's like, "This is my SmackDown. There is no original tribal chief. I'm the only tribal chief. I run this place. This is my house. All this stuff. I don't need a partner." Great. Loved it. On board. It seemed like he was going towards like a handicap match, or maybe opening the door for Jimmy to come in. Whatever the case is. Loved it.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Then Cody comes out. Don't know why. Cody comes out to say that, like, pretty much, I think you forgot where you are. Like, I'm in charge now. That was it. Cody dropped 2 to 3 lines. Maybe. That was it. All right. Then the Bloodline come out and attack the both of them. Okay.
Oh my.
So attacking the both of them. Keep in mind, this already happened earlier in the night. So the first attack didn't make Cody want to face them. Okay? Yes. As they're being attacked, Cody and Roman then fight them off. Roman signs the contract, looks at Cody. Cody says, "Give me the contract." Roman doesn't say anything. No one asks him. Cody just says, "You know what? This time, this beat up, now I'm mad. I'll tag with you." The part that really upset me out of all of this, that's not even the part that got me the most mad. The whole time, you have Solo outside of the ring screaming, "Oh, you're friends now? You don't even like each other." And just repeating those 2 lines over and over. "Oh, you like him now? You're not friends? You're friends now? You don't even like each other," as he's signing the contract. And I'm saying to myself, this is supposed to be the tribal chief. This is how he's trying to convince these guys not to tag, by attacking them and then letting them know that they're not friends, so they shouldn't tag together.
But you see, Danny, you seem to be missing the nuance of cinema being told to you, because it's obvious what's going on here is that Cody, he's done with the Bloodline, but he still sees himself as the alpha male. With Roman back now, he's still threatened by Roman being the top dog on the show, and that's why he wants to team up with him, to show that he needs him to get this done, and without him he'd fail, that he's the alpha, and they're going to get in each other's way. Because you see, Danny, spoiler alert, Solo Sikoa is right. They don't even like each other. They can't coexist. He's correct.
I mean, he was speaking facts, just that's how he tried to convince him not to tag.
Yeah. It was all reverse psychology.
So it looks like you're hooked.
Please. I'm not hooked. I see the worm and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I keep moving. I ain't hooked on nothing.
All right. Any questions about SmackDown?
Not at all.
Sorry, I'm trying my best.
Hey, you and me both every week when we talk about WWE. Let's go. Monday Night Raw. Right. I'm really proud of myself, Danny.
Oh man.
Because like I told myself, hey, season premieres, Raw and SmackDown. first hour commercial free, new TV station. Maybe they'll pull out all the stops and do something really cool and different. Old John would have put them on. Would have watched them. Said, okay, let's record. Let's see what's going on. Shits and giggles. I didn't. I have no regrets.
Regrets. All right,
So,
moving on. We have
moving
WWE Raw. Soon
that show.
moving to 2 hours.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Great. Imagine 6 hours of Raw and SmackDown. That'd be crazy.
It's gonna end up being like on Netflix. It'll end up being like 2 hours of like still the same content. It's gonna
Yeah,
be the
of
same
course.
amount of content, just a shorter time.
Of course. Just not like commercials and shit. Anyway,
Gross.
start off with CM Punk kind of promo.
Hey,
We got
I
Drew
know.
McIntyre, CM Punk, Hell in a Cell, yada yada. No one attacked. No one really did anything. Pretty simple. A lot of people were making fun of like doing some stupid thing because he showed up in a van. So they were being like, way to try to impersonate Jack Perry by showing up in a van.
So I saw who showed up in the van.
CM Punk, not a van, whatever car he showed up in or whatever.
Oh, whatever. Okay. I saw the Punk promo. I actually watched it. I liked it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I thought it was very well done for Hell in a Cell coming up.
the match is going to be another fire match. This is a great rivalry. We said it. I like that they keep going. They keep having it go.
And it's funny, man. I
Got the
feel
strap
like
bracelet.
it's one of those things where can you go after Hell in a Cell, truthfully? So I almost think this needs to be it.
Well, that's what Hell in a Cell is supposed to be, and that's where WWE has failed in the past, and I'm hoping they don't fail here, is that
I know.
it's supposed to be the end-all, be-all. It's supposed to be the final, and we'll see what happens. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Then we had Sheamus and Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne and Sheamus. Pete Dunne wins the match.
Good for him.
And that rivalry is going to be interesting. I'm not sure how that rivalry is going to continue because it looks like it has to. It just didn't look like it was like the final match. So like we'll see.
Have they been in a feud for a while?
They've been in a like yeah, I've told you. Sheamus cost him the triple threat match. And I'm sorry. Pete Dunne cost Sheamus the triple threat match, and then he's been like routinely attacking. They've been attacking each other and interfering in each other's matches for a couple weeks now.
Okay.
And every time someone calls Pete Dunne Butch, he apparently gets really mad and might beat up a woman if she says it. So he has to be very careful with his temper.
Wait, did he say that?
One of the backstage interviewers said it, and he looked like he was gonna hit her. It was very intimidating.
Oh, okay. Like if you told me Pete Dunne cut a promo saying that even if a woman said that, he'd hit them, like instant, like wow,
He's
like,
back.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
You know what else
That's
would be
crazy.
amazing? A Shillelagh on a pole match, like Jay DeFalco says. Book it, Sheamus, Butch / Pete Dunne, Shillelagh on a pole.
You know what else would be amazing? If y'all took like 2 minutes out of your day and subscribed to us, please. It's September, and with September comes 25% off, and we'd really appreciate it.
Oh, right. After that, this is important. We have a backstage segment where Xavier Woods by himself goes up to Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, and Damian Priest and asks them not to get involved.
That sounds like a Nightmare Blunt rotation. Sorry.
Well, that might be a fun one. I don't know.
Uh,
I have to think about that. That might be a segment I do. Good blunt rotation.
that's all you.
I'll put some wrestlers together for you guys. Anyway, so it goes to the three of them and asks them not to interfere in the tag team match that they have later on tonight. Then we have Natalya versus Zoe Stark. I don't care about them. Jey Uso and Braun Breaker had a face-to-face interaction. They had the Intercontinental title match coming up next week. So they had a face-to-face interaction, ended in Jey Uso getting the upper hand and spearing Braun Breaker. So that was interesting. Then moving on to the tag team match. So tag team match, pretty good match. I really enjoyed it. I really just like Finn Balor a lot. What happened?
Who was in this tag team match, Danny?
It was the New Day versus. Sorry, I thought I said tag team title match, and that's why that didn't make sense to you. The tag team title match where we had the New Day versus the Judgment Day. My apologies. I'm trying to run through this fast for you. I know you're not too interested in Raw. So this segment, though, I think you'll be interested in. So we had the tag team title match. Very good match as always. You got the New Day and Finn Balor in there. It's bound to be a good match. They gave them enough time. Ended with Judgment Day coming out to interfere. LWO came out to help them out. While they were interfering, Kofi does a move outside, takes out a bunch of people. The stupid refs, and I hate when the refs do this because they don't usually do this. He goes outside to like help the group break up and blah, blah, blah. Xavier Woods in the ring, has him for like a 15 count, like won the match 5 times. And then goes outside, gets the ref, comes back in, and obviously loses the match. They get the upper hand, yada, yada. After the match, shuffs Kofi, argues, screams at him, and then they go backstage. Cut to the backstage promo where you have Kofi and Xavier. You have Xavier screaming at the LWO that they cost him the title. Kofi comes up and says, like, chill the hell out. I asked them to come help. Like, I asked them to watch our back because we knew what Judgment Day would do. So he says thank you and they go away. And then literally says, like, we don't have Big E anymore. So because we don't have Big E anymore, we need backup. And Kofi takes that as, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as Big E. That's what you're telling me. So, like, I hear you, and, like, kind of walks off on him. So, like, the seeds are planted. But then Kofi goes on social media and puts up, like, you know, don't read too much into it. Sometimes just emotions run high and people disagree. Something along those lines. I'm not quoting verbatim. So that's an interesting storyline that I do want to see where they go with that, because I believe Kofi said if they ever broke up the New Day, he's done. Like, he's retiring. So I want to see if that's true.
You think that their fight backstage was real? It sounded real when you just told me. No,
I'm scared. I'm scared, Juice.
I saw the ending. I saw somebody complaining about it online. And I agree. Referee was being dumb referee.
I hate that shit. I hate when they do that shit.
Taking up the dumb spot. Kofi cannot be trusted. He eats pizza with no cheese. Yeah,
isn't he like lactose intolerant? Hold on. Like, he's not doing it because he's a freak.
Then don't eat pizza, okay?
I mean, that's also fair, but my little brother used to be lactose intolerant. He was a freak, but, like, he used to have to pull the cheese off.
That sounds like a freak.
That's just extra cheese for you, bro. Like, if you eat with him.
I am not going to eat the cheese you pulled off your pizza, bro.
Well, you can pull the cheese off.
No! At that point, just give me your pizza.
It's family. It's all right.
All right. He doesn't like cow milk, is vegan.
Oh, then yeah, no, fuck him. Yeah, I don't care if you're vegan. That's a life choice. You're an asshole.
Either way, see, Kofi should have been a better partner and just told Woods, hey, I'm going to go talk to the LW and give the heads up. Like, if you're going to go down that route of, like, communication. So Woods has a right to be mad in that regard, I guess. But either way, listen.
Woods also didn't go with Kofi to talk to Damian, Jay, and Rhea.
Either way, man, if they're really
two-way street.
If they're splitting this up, like, game over, man. 2 Days always been, like, to me, the greatest stable of all time, in the sense that they never split, they never broke up, nothing like that. And if they really do it now, one thing to tease them, they do it. I mean, I'm already not watching, but, like, I'll not watch even more, I guess. That's the thing, man.
Go ahead.
You got rid of Big E. And you had a bigger E for a while. Now bigger E is gone. So clearly the next step is we need to find a biggest E and get him in there to save the day.
Imagine, this is a great what if. Imagine this is all just a ploy and Big E's coming back.
That'd be great if he's good to go, man.
I'd be so happy.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but yeah.
All right. Moving on to a segment that I know, like, I think weekly you wait for, so I get excited. All right? Because, like, no. Come back to me, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah,
because every time one or both of these men step in the ring, it seems like something magical, history happens. And this week was no different, Juice.
Oh, the top turnbuckle fell off.
Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. All right? And, man, when I tell you how this match started, we get into the ring. They go into the ropes, and the top rope comes off.
Wow.
And it just falls into a full-on brawl.
Okay, so
They crashed through a wall, I believe, at one point. It went all over the arena.
So I did not care for this shtick when Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns did it in 2017. And you bet your ass I don't give a shit about it now.
Oh, you mean they recycled another big moment?
So, no thank you. No interest in seeing them do the same shit they did. It's the same fucking stuff.
100%.
They did. Whatever.
How long, or maybe they did it already and I forgot, because now that it's all, I feel like it's all just meshed in. How long until they break the ring?
Oh, it's a week or two away.
Like, do you think they try to, like, really flatten it this time? They got to do it different. It can't be the same, like, like earthquake kind of thing. I hate the earthquake ring. I wish it would just, like, one day just flat, just fall. Just like it's going
to be the same spot because it's on like a hydraulic.
It's the worst. I hate it so much. All right. I knew you were really excited for that one, so I just wanted to let you know about that. Then we had Sami Zayn come out for another promo. Now, this is where I got confused, and I might have heard him wrong. Again, I'm doing my best here. Adam Pearce, I thought, had told Ludwig that Sami Zayn was going to be the contender. I might have misheard him and say that he was considering making Sami the next contender, because Sami came out and still asked for the match, so I assume that means he doesn't have it yet, which is very different from something AEW did, which I can't wait to talk about. But I got confused about that. They came out, they had a promo, you don't deserve it, I'm going to get it. No, the answer's still no. They beat him up. Then Sami got the last hand by being able to give, by hitting Kaiser before he left the ring. So, like, Kaiser and Gunther teamed up on him, attacked him. Walter left. Kaiser stayed in the ring to, like, fuck with him more, and then got hit with something. I think the Blue Power Bomb. And we'll see where that goes. Obviously, the match is coming up at Bad Blood. They just haven't announced it yet. So that is that. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Pretty good match. They always have a good match. I don't know where this is going with Damage Control because Jade still can't wrestle. So it doesn't matter to me. That's really the truth. And then last but not least, we had Damian Priest versus the hottest heel in wrestling, Dirty Dom Mysterio, with his smoking hot girlfriend, the World Women's Champion, Liv Morgan, and his electric stable of the New Judgment Day with Carlito and JD McDonald. I mean, this man is how can you hate this leader of monsters? Juice.
Is that all you got?
Well, I mean, he wound up losing, but that's because his stable might have messed up and cost him the match. It was an honest mistake. You know how that happens. And then after the match, they attacked him. So they really won because when Raw closed, they were standing on top. You know?
Oh,
yeah.
Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw.
Exactly. Oh, and Jey Uso came out to make the save and then got speared by Braun Breaker.
It's terrible.
Which leads us to the question that Matt asked, and maybe you guys at home can help us answer, because Juice, I need to get him back in the mood here. Is the spear the new super kick? Is it overused? Matt had brought that up, and I'm curious. People at home, what do you think? Because I think yes.
And I'm not watching a WWE, so I can't speak to the level that it's being used at by Jay and Braun and Braun and Bronson and whatever. But I don't think so. I don't think it's the new super kick. I think the super kick is still the new super kick. If anything, I would say moves like the Spanish Fly or like the new super kick or like a Canadian Destroyer or Panama Sunrise. Like those are used very often. But again, that's me watching AEW more than WWE. But
So totally agree with that.
Harley says yes.
Harley agrees
I
with.
know.
I like
I
that.
know she watches WWE, so I'm assuming she's talking about the spear.
But also, would you see? And that's where I was talking with. That's what I was talking in the text with you guys, where I'm just like, I feel like more people, like the spear gets used by anyone and everyone, right? Light guy, big guy, small guy. You're using the spear, right? We have Edge, we have Christian, we got some, we have Jey Uso, and then we have some of the bigger guys like Braun and whoever else. So not Edge, sorry, Adam Copeland. I apologize. So we have these guys doing spears all the time now, where Bronson and stuff, where the super kick is kind of just the smaller guy. Same thing with the Spanish fly. Those are like for a specific move set or a specific style, where it seems like the spear is now being used by any style as long as you just think you can do a spear well.
Yeah, I think that's just the state of the business. I think a lot of moves evolving in the way that they're doing them. I think it's kind of at that point, but I don't think it's overused. I think it's just the way the wrestling has evolved. But I think the people that are using it aren't using it well.
I agree with that. Which might lead us to, dare I say, a tournament of spears.
Sure, let's do it.
Sweet.
I mean,
We'll probably do all-time spears, because I feel like if we do just current day, we're going to be kind of disappointed. But I would love to do like the Gore. I would love Goldberg spear. Let's compare that. Roman's, Edge's in WWE, I feel like is a lot better than Adam Copeland's. So I'd be interested in that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you can put that on the table. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see about that. Moving on. Any questions about WWE, sir?
No, AEW time. So let me get started here with some good news that I want to share.
I will say, Dynamite wasn't all that last night.
Well, that's cool, but before you talk about Dynamite, let's start with Collision.
That's fair. Collision was pretty good.
So I'd like to start off with some good news for the chat. That on Saturday evening, I made a call to the authorities, and I called 911, and I reported Jack Perry's vehicle to the police for immediate arrestation, whatever you want to call it, if you will.
What?
I think for immediate arrest, an APB, if you will. So
why?
I put out a call. Why? Because the vehicle he is driving is immensely unsafe for the road. The windows are all tinted. He has no. He does not park it ever. He leaves it running with smoke coming out of it. Safety hazard. He has no registration or safety inspection on his windshield. Trust me, I looked before I called. And I thought enough is enough. This man is a menace to society. He's going to hurt somebody. He's clearly driving on no sleep. As you see, he's always drinking coffee and slapping himself to stay awake. He is a man that cannot be trusted on the road. He needs to be stopped. So I called the police on Saturday, and I'm thrilled to see that on Wednesday night last night, AEW aired a promo showing the police talking over their broadcast, looking for Jack Perry's vehicle. So, thank you all for your time, but it is now in canon that Juicebox has reported the police to Jack Perry, and they are investigating and looking for him. And quite frankly, I think the faster they find him, the better. And if he will be in New York next week for Grand Slam, I will make it my civic duty to make sure he does not leave with that vehicle. Thank you.
I think you sound like a Karen right now, bro, against Jack Perry.
Okay. I'm going to paint a picture for you, Daniel. Imagine you're leaving Grand Slam next week. Had a wonderful evening. Wow. What a night. All my favorites won. Everybody I hated lost. And you're leaving. You're walking to your car, crossing the street. All of a sudden, bat out of hell, Jack Berry. I can't even say his name. Jack Berry. Jack Berry comes running out of Arthur Ashe with the car. Runs over the producer. Runs over Falvey. Dead on sight. Gone. Onion rings. No more. Jack Perry, drinking his coffee, looks out and says, I did it for the greater good, brother, and keeps going. And if you're feeling the same way, I think not. So let me do my job, all right? The police are handling this, and the arrestation order is in place, as Mark Briscoe would
I'm just
say.
saying, there's one issue with what you said is that but the producer sometimes doesn't look both ways before he crosses the street, and I've warned him several times.
Damn well better this week. So that's my first note about Jack Perry. True shame. True shame he's out there on the roads, and hopefully they do their job and they get him soon.
You're ridiculous, sir. You leave that scapegoat alone.
Please. Let's see. On this week's episode of Tony Schiavone is an idiot. This is now the second time in the last week that he has said this week's Grand Slam is the third Grand Slam.
Yep.
He said it on Collision and also on Dynamite. This is the fourth edition of Grand Slam. So, Tony Schiavone, please stop talking. Thank you. I may not be an expert on burnt CD-ROMs these days, but I'm pretty sure none of the discs that Stokely is playing are going to actually play anything on them. I think he put them all in upside down.
It looked weird. It did look weird, yes.
Also,
doesn't that mean he wrote on the side you're supposed to burn?
Yes, but he put tape on it, so I think he did it all wrong. So those discs aren't going to work.
Just making sure.
So
he just wants to make Stokely, it look real shiny.
Yeah, so Stokely, whatever research you're doing, I don't think it's going to work. Although I am curious about that, because clearly he's looking at tag teams, and he was at the Gauntlet watching the tag teams. So it makes you wonder, who's he looking to manage or bring in?
Maybe someone a little grizzled.
Or maybe he's looking to get himself into the Hurt business. I don't know.
Ooh, I would like that. Well, it depends. Who are they teaming with?
What?
Bobby and Shelton?
Yeah.
Do they already have Shelton?
No, but
I'm just curious. I don't remember.
Yeah, the rumor is that they'd be coming in together. So who knows? We'll
Interesting.
See. I'm sure, clearly he's going after a tag team.
You know what would be interesting to me was if they do bring those two in. Maybe Cedric Alexander. He's a free agent, right? He's not with WWE anymore, right?
He is with WWE, and he just signed an extension like an idiot.
What a moron! Good. I was wondering if he was in because I didn't want him to be because I wanted to say I would rather have. I hope I remember his name correctly. Kenny King. Was that who Bobby Lashley was with in TNA? Was that his name?
Were they together for a while? It is Kenny King. I don't remember if they were together for a while.
I'm almost positive they were. I would really like Kenny King in that with those two. I think he's a good mouthpiece. I think he would be a good hype man for them, but also can go in the ring if they do bring that in. I know I said the wrong word.
Don't you say that, man.
Bro, I can't wait for you to talk about him because I'm embarrassed.
He sucks.
That was embarrassing what he did on TV 2 weeks in a row.
Before we get... Yeah, actually, I don't even think I wrote it down because I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, my God. And then he made Commander do it. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's the worst. He has to go away. I'm going to keep saying it until he's gone.
We should bring in signs next week to Grand Slam. Just die Abrahantes. Die.
I mean, I don't want him to die. I don't like him at all.
I was trying to back you up, bro. I was trying to just read you. My bad, man.
Don't make me a murderer. Listen, I'm trying to get the criminals off the streets, not become one. So let me do my work, okay?
Okay, here's what we do. Two birds with one stone. We push Abrahantes in front of the Jack Perry's car. Jack Perry's gone. Abrahantes is gone.
No,
we're good.
Because then I'm an accomplice with Jack Perry. He's totally going to throw me under the bus. He's a little weasel. Look what he already did with Punk.
Fuck.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
Either way, let's move on. None of this is...
on the record.
This is all admissible in court, by the way.
This is all hypothetical.
Yeah, none of this is legal. So, next up, Wheeler Yuta. I really dug his match that he had with Anthony Henry on Collision. I like the attitude, the vibe that he's got right now. I like he didn't even put on the wrist tape.
I was going to say that. That was a good point out by Nigel. I loved all that.
Yep. I like even on Dynamite when he didn't have his belt, he said the wrong event name. They gave him the ultimatum to be there for next week to defend the titles. We can get to that segment in a minute, but I just like Yuta's whole thing so far, how they're handling it and how they're playing it.
Agreed. I think it's going to be so interesting next week because you know he's going to come in and defend it, which is what I like. And he's going to wrestle. They're going to win. And then it's going to be the after. Stop it. They're going to win. It's going to be the aftermath that I'm interested in. I don't believe they're putting the titles on Private Party and Commander. No
We'll
shot,
stand
bro.
by. Stand by. We'll get there in a minute. We haven't gotten there yet.
I'm just
But,
saying. Come on now.
All right. We'll
Moving
see.
on.
So Jericho beating Mystico at CMLL the night before Collision. That was a lie. They did not get that information correct. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match where Jericho won one of the falls, but Mystico won the match. And they completely messed it up. And the best part is they pre-taped Collision on Thursday, the night before the pay-per-view. So depending on when they recorded that, just completely messed it up.
That's so funny.
That was fun. Anna Jay is kind of back, which was nice. She cut a promo exactly how what they needed to do with her being a babyface. I'm still low-key hoping they do Anna versus Mercedes at Grand Slam because Mercedes doesn't have a match yet, but we can get there in a minute. But as of right now, Anna Jay, she's back. I don't know if she's going to wrestle this weekend, but we'll see what happens with that.
I hope so.
Nice.
No, I was really excited. That was a great promo that she had too. Like, got me hyped for her back.
Yeah.
They have such a deep women's division, man. They just got to give them better stories. Really, they have such a good women's division, and they're doing better with it. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. They are doing better with it. They just got to give them like more of them stories and stuff, and they're gonna be great.
I think their problem right now is they need more baby faces
in the division.
Yes.
Yeah, because Britt's not a good babyface, and like she'll never be a good babyface. She's got to be heel pretty much the whole time. Mercedes is not a good babyface. You got to keep her heel. The problem is
she's heel.
No, I know. The problem is strong baby faces to counteract them that don't get stale. You know what I mean? Like, Tony's going to be a good baby face for a while, but she's going to get stale. Sheeta is, I think, the only one that can really, like, be a baby face longevity-wise, but, like,
Sheeta's kind of going... She's kind of going tweener, though. That's the thing. Like, she's not heel, but she's going tweener. So, like, it's rough because all you got is Willow and, like, you know... lost it. I can't remember what I was thinking of. Thunder Rosa. Like, you know, there's not many. Like, Deeb is heel. Amanada is, like, still coming up. She's basically this year's Sky Blue.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, either way, we can talk more about that another time. But, like, Yuka Sakazaki and Mina and Mariah May going to be going at it. It's going to be awkward, man. I mean, like, we're going to have to sit there. We're going to have to watch some child abuse in that ring. I mean, Mariah said it herself. Like, she's gonna
she kept saying that. I was cracking up. That was so mean.
Beating up on a kid. Like, I'm gonna have to cheer for that. I guess
we'll talk more about it with the tag team match, but based off the tag team match, I don't have high hopes for the match.
I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's you know, yeah. I mean, she has experience, Mariah, working with Joshis and Japanese women and stuff like that. I think the match will be fine. Yuka's solid.
It just looked sloppy on, but that might have been just the match itself. No big deal.
Yeah, I have faith it'll be all right. And again, Mina's either going to be in the stands watching or in the crowd or coming out or something. So Mina will be involved. What else did I write? Let's see. Oh, and Andretti. Actually, Andretti, he ain't wrong, man. I mean, he's getting fired up how he wants, like, you know, we're losing. Like, we just lost this match and this match and this match. And they're all like, hey, man, whatever, lighten up, all's good. And I'm like,
I think he's going to break apart from him. It's going to be interesting.
You're right. Like, he's fired up. So I like what they're doing with, like, them and House of Black and the Righteous are kind of in there.
Yeah.
So they're doing something there with that. I'm intrigued to see where it's going.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I can see Andretti leaving. Leo be what Top Flight is the new trio. But hopefully Andretti lands on his feet. Maybe even with House of Black. Honestly, something new for him. So that's all I had on Collision. Did you have anything else? Or?
Nope, that pretty much covered all of mine.
All right. So, Dynamite. Chris Jericho. Annie, I'm putting a forecast on this.
The match wasn't bad, bro.
Chris Jericho has got 2 years max left.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he's like 10 years away.
Done. He's done. Listen, dude.
Like,
that match, I love Jericho forever. I cannot stress enough this year. He's off. He's not what he used to be. He needs hardcore matches or multi-man matches to get enough of a match through. That match was overbooked to shit last night. Like, start off with the huge 3-on-3 brawl, then you do the Big Bill interference, then a few minutes later you do the Brian Keith interference with the quarters. It was too much, and it was to protect Jericho from losing.
But they do that all the time with these stables. I don't think it's just because of Jericho. Like, that's how they do the stable stuff a lot.
It was a lot.
I mean, I agree. It was a lot. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying I don't think it's just a Jericho thing.
I just think it was overbooked. It was overcooked. Like, it outstayed its welcome.
I like the way that sounded.
By like 5-7 minutes. It was just too long. And, and of course, all it's going to lead to now is next week they're going to do a 3-on-3, probably a Grand Slam, and the conglomeration's going to lose in some hardcore match or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, maybe he just needs a break or something.
I think that's what he also needs. Yeah, I think he needs some time away. Right. The learning tree thing is done. Finish that.
Listen, and it's over enough, which is ridiculous that people are like entertained by it enough. But it's just, yeah, he's not doing it in the ring. The only time he's really connecting in the ring with people is when he's doing the hardcore multi-man stuff. Which, what does that sound like by the end? Sting.
No, for sure.
So like, either way, just protect him. But like, something's got to change there, man. I don't think he's got much time left. Let's see. Yuta thing we talked about already.
No. The Yuta thing, yeah. I was going to talk about the rest of that.
Yeah, no, we could talk about it now. That's what I was going to get to. But the beatdown, man. I mean, listen, it could not be Private Party and Commander next week. They never showed a match graphic. They never said it was official. Like, but it could not be them.
But so here's what confuses me. And here's what annoys me.
Okay.
They said in the promo before the Yuta promo, the first promo of all this, they said that we were challenged for the belts next week. We are defending the belts next week. You better be there to defend the belts.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the challenge just got made last night. So how, if they knew last week that they were, because this was that you better be there, yada yada, that was cut before. So if they knew before the challenge was set, because that was a pre-taped thing that they showed Yuta, that's just what doesn't make sense to me. And that's what AEW does sometimes. That's just like confusing. If they're being challenged by Private Party, how is Private Party not putting the challenge out first? How do they know they're being challenged without the actual challenge? Private Party challenged them after the Yuta promo. They challenged them in a backstage promo after the Yuta promo. That's when they challenged them for the belts. But 2 or 3 seconds before that was the Blackpool Combat promo saying, you better be there, we were challenged, you better show up to defend the belts. But they weren't challenged yet at that point. Like, the continuity doesn't make sense. They got to, like, fix that.
I mean, I'll go back and listen to it. I didn't hear it that way when I was watching, but I'll go back and rewatch it because
the first promo was them saying, Yuta, we were challenged next week.
I remember the segments in the order. I just don't remember the specific wording, so I'll have to look.
I don't think they said open challenge. If they said open challenge, that's different. I don't think they said open challenge. I thought they said they were challenged. But if they said open challenge, then I'll take back most of this rant.
Yeah, or maybe they were being told they had the challenge or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or they had. Yeah, I'll give it a listen. But it might not be them. I mean, I wouldn't hate it either way.
If it's not Private Party, then they have a better chance of losing. But if it's Private Party, they're not losing next week. So, like, where do they go with that?
Yeah, I hope it's not them. Just so Alex Abrahantes doesn't come out and do his stupid dance. God, that dance is so terrible. You know what? With them being so beat up and attacked now the way they were, if he still comes out and does the dumb dance, he's just as stupid. Like, you're supposed to be locked in. Don't do no fucking dancing. I can't stand it.
All right, moving on.
I liked Roderick Strong calling Hook Hogan.
Yes.
When he won. He's like, it's Hook Hogan. Hook Hogan. He won.
So funny. He's so funny on the thing. Even coming out, be like, that's how you race him. You don't even race him to respect was a living legend. I was just like, yo, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So we got a huge announcement last night that Mina is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, so am I. The Grand Slam next week. It is going to be amazing. Being there.
Bad.
Mina's there.
Gross.
It'll be such a good show.
I hope.
I'm excited.
We'll see.
I'm excited. Why wouldn't I be? Mina's coming. So am I. So that's good. Speaking of coming, though, Pac was too good to show up apparently this week. Sorry, that doesn't really fly for me. Like at this point, like be there.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
No.
he wasn't there.
So that means that the promo that was pre-taped was taped the week before,
Which
makes
said.
me even more upset. Because then how did
Okay,
they know they were fucking challenged for the belts a week before that?
I don't know. Well, I'll listen to it. I'll get back to you off stream or somebody in chat.
It's all unraveling.
Jay says, didn't they mention open challenge? You know, somebody in chat do the investigative
We'll
reporting
find
right
out.
now.
We'll find
Otherwise,
out.
I'll listen to it after the show and I'll inform Danny.
Keep going on.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pac should have been there, man. I don't
agree.
get what was, what else are you doing, man? Like, the stable is being built to be what it is right now, and you being there is important. Otherwise, it's just Claudio and Mox with Marina, which, by the way, Marina Shafir stock, through the roof after taking out Abrahantes.
I knew you were going to love that. The second she's talking about, I'm like, yo, he's definitely changing his entire view on her.
Oh, yeah, I can forgive all the weeks now of her boringly taking off her socks and throwing them at the fans before her matches.
Can we also mention that does Pac have any clothes that aren't wrestling gear? Because I feel like I only ever see him in wrestling gear.
Yeah, that's all he wears.
Ever seen him in anything else?
That's all he lives in. That's him.
Interesting. All right, moving on.
Yep. Yeah, and then the last note I really have here about Dynamite is Adam Page. Stop.
I was hoping.
Also, going way up, man. I mean, it would have been even better if he actually got a hand in on Tony Schiavone, took him out, little bitch, but he didn't. And Jeff Jarrett came out. Like, are we getting a Jeff Jarrett retirement? Because if we get Page beating the shit out of Schiavone and retiring Jeff Jarrett in one fell swoop, Page is jumping up the power rankings, man. I'm sorry. Like, that's all-timer status right there. So, yeah. I still don't like Jarrett, but whatever.
I'm surprised that they're still going with the Swerve Page thing, with Page still as the one chasing Swerve, because you figure after the cage match and after him beating him and stuff, he kind of be like, all right.
Well, I don't think he's chasing Swerve. He's made it clear he's now going for redemption against everybody that wronged him and stood in his way in defiance of Swerve.
Yeah,
basically
but
anybody.
Didn't
that
he
was
also say that he's still not done with Swerve? Like he's still going after him currently? I
think this is how he's probably going after.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not thinking too much into it right now. But
no, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just curious how they do the story. Like I don't mind. Again, I think this is kind of like right now. This is the best thing they have going is Swerve Page, just like CM Punk and Drew is the best thing WWE has going. I think they try to keep these storylines and feud going as long as possible, as long as you keep it fresh and don't let it get stale. Yeah. But that's where I'm afraid it's going to get stale. Now, like, I think trading back and forth of like, oh, now you had the one up, now I'm not done with you, makes more sense than Page being like, all right, I kicked his ass, now just in case he comes back, I'm going to still do, I don't know. It makes sense. I'm not upset with it. I'm just wasn't sure if they were still going with him versus Swerve or if they're going in a new direction with it. Either way, I think we're getting Jarrett Page next week at Grand Slam.
And so that's my last point, which is kind of a broad point, but it's gonna be my typical impatience, unhappiness with like shows a week away. Like you typically put on like a 12-match show, like ticket sales are not doing great. What are you waiting for? Like all you've announced so far is like 3.5 matches, or like 4 if you want to add up the 2 half matches. Like we don't know who BCC is really fighting. We don't know if Danielson Nigel is really happening. Like if you really want to play that card, like after what they just did with the Swerve, we don't know. Like give your people something to want to go and watch and buy. And so far, like, listen, we're going. We're gonna have fun.
That's what I was just about to say, and I think
What
that's
are we
where
doing?
I think that's where you're instilled the mindset of no one has to buy anything except for the tickets there. But like, this is still just a Dynamite. It's a glorified Dynamite, but it's still a Dynamite. So like, they
Yeah, I'm
usually
talking
only
about ticket
announce like 4 or 5 matches sometimes the week before. I think that's what they're trying. I'm afraid. That's what I meant to say. I'm afraid that that's what they're trying to do now, where they're just like, all right, Grand Slam is just a glorified Dynamite. We're not treating it like a special pay-per-view anymore because of All Out, All In, all this shit around it that they've fucked themselves with. I agree, and that's what we've been talking about for a while. So I think now this is the repercussion where now we're getting screwed with the Grand Slam is not like it used to be. Like, remember last year we were waiting for like the big signee or the big return or whatever, and we didn't get it because we were used to that the previous 2 Grand Slams and then didn't get that. And I think that was the start of them saying like, this isn't a pay-per-view anymore. This is just a really cool Dynamite. Like, get used to it.
Well, yeah. I had expectations that no one was going to show up last year. Obviously, we were all thinking Copeland maybe, and he showed up like 2 weeks later, of course, because
So stupid.
But either way, I don't know. I've enjoyed all 3. I mean, I've been thinking about which ones I've liked
of course.
more, but like you know, like I looked at it, so I have written down here, like, okay, so this is, if I'm right, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first like Long Island Queens show that's going to have no MJF on it at all.
As of right now.
As of right now.
But it wouldn't make sense to rush him in within less than a week.
But like that's probably hurting a little bit. Like,
and then I agree with Jay DeFalco.
Okay, so, well, let me see. What did he write?
He wrote mentioned that the Grand Slam card is also being hampered by the 5th anniversary show because like that's why we don't have Ricochet on this show because they're saving him for the 5th anniversary show. That's why we don't have. I forgot what the other match was, but there was another big match that they're doing in 2 weeks that they're not doing next week. Like, that is screwing us also.
No, and listen, I don't need every match to be a banger. Like, we've been spoiled. The last 2 shows we've had have been pay-per-views in like a 6-month span. So we're fortunate. I get it's just a Dynamite, but it is a bigger premier Dynamite. So far, it looks like a very good show. I'm just, as always, antsy because I want to see the full picture. Like, we're that close now where like I should know more than like 3 or 4 matches.
Yeah.
I should. We all should. And especially if you want to sell tickets when you know you're that low, how are you going to drive your market, people to go buy tickets if they're not going to know, whoa, oh shit, you just added like this and that? Like, okay, where's the Mercedes Moné match? Where's Okada? I know Swerve's taking time.
How many matches do they have announced? Because you keep saying 3 to 4, but those aren't even official 3 to 4. Like, what are the only official matches? You have Darby and Moxley.
We have Darby and Mox. We have Hook and Roderick Strong.
Yes.
We have the Bucks taking on Ospreay and Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 half matches, you have Danielson and Nigel. And then the trios match, which is going to happen, but you don't know who they're fighting.
Yeah.
So I round that up and I say 4. So you really have 4 matches that you know. And typically, I look back, these shows usually have 12 matches.
Yeah,
total.
they're big shows. And then
I know Collision will set up a lot, and I'm sure I'll sit there and be like, all right, fine, now I'm a little more happy. But it's like running out of days.
That's still only less than a week away. Like, that still kind of sucks. And then
that's all I'm thinking.
Like, and then my only other fear is that they don't do the Danielson Blackpool thing well, because if you're going to have them both back on a show, they have to interact. It doesn't make any sense. And like,
okay,
go ahead.
No, I'll keep going. Like, okay, so what's Ricochet going to do now? Where's Jamie Hayter at? Like, there's so many names that I feel like should be featured and be getting hotter. And like, I just feel like a lot of talent right now is like, I don't know if this is dramatic, but I feel like they're cold. Like, I'm enjoying them, but like, I know a lot of stuff just culminated with All In and All Out, and things are kind of re-percolating. But it just feels like, okay, like, where are these people? Like, you know, Hayter, let's go. Like, let's just get something going here. And I just feel like where's Stat been?
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with you. Where it's just like, yeah, great, things just ended, but you also brought in some new people. So while you're still trying to figure out, just put them on TV, let them get some small feuds in. They don't need to be in title pictures right away. What you're doing, Ricochet, you could have stretched that out. Like, you could have started that a week earlier and had him do 2 or 3 more matches and really had those wins build up, like he was trying to say in the promo last night. Like, what, you had wins build up? How many? 3? You've had 3 matches. Now you're a number 1 contender. Like, Come on.
Well, that's been Tony's MO from.
I know, but I'm
He's
just
always-
saying, like,
it's been the
it's just
3
so
wins.
silly for him to be like, oh, bragging like, oh, you told me to get some wins under my belt. I got 3. Let's go. It's like, all right, bro, like, get a handful at least. Come on now.
No, I don't mind that because it's been Tony's booking style. But like like I look at Ricochet
Yeah, you
now.
don't
Okay,
mind
like
Tony's booking style.
well, I don't say I don't mind it. I just expect it. Like it's patterns. You learn them, and that's what makes you expect it. But either way, like the only thing I can see Ricochet doing right now is like randomly teaming with Hologram to take on like Beast Mordos and like Undisputed Kingdom.
They're probably gonna have some kind of like Royal Rumble or #1 contenders gala or some shit just to put some more bodies on the card. We'll see. I don't know.
To be fair, they've only really done that once in the 3 years, so it's not like it's that lazy of a thing to do if they do it. But
no, well, they just did it. That's why I don't care that they do it on the show. I'm saying
I just mean
they just did like a Royal Rumble recently. Christian Cage still has the briefcase. That whole segment was pretty good, by the way. I do enjoy, except for the end. I hate that they're doing this Roman Reigns bullshit. I liked everything besides that.
I think you're overthinking it, man. It's not that. It ain't that. Reigning, defending, undisputed. Like that's a UFC. That's a boxing fight night thing.
Bro,
Roman
that's
and
Paul
Heyman.
Heyman.
They did not invent the words reigning, defending, undisputed champion.
I'm not saying they did, but no one in wrestling was using it really besides Roman Reigns the past fucking 5 years. Now all of a sudden Roman Reigns wasn't using it and Christian Cage is going to use it, and you're going to tell me that's not a coincidence? Come on.
I think you're hating too much on it.
I think you're giving AEW way too much credit, and I think you gotta. Okay, all right.
It's not,
bro. This is you being a WWE hater again. Like, so you gotta recognize that sometimes AEW does some stupid shit like this, where they're blatantly ripping off Roman Reigns. What are we talking about?
I don't think they're blatantly ripping him off. Again, this isn't a Roman thing. They did this in boxing and UFC all the time.
You're right. No one's ever done it in wrestling as their shtick before Roman Reigns. And now Christian Cage, after Roman stopped doing it, is using it.
I didn't know one person could do one thing ever, and that's it.
You're right. You're right. It's not like, you certain people bring things into an industry and say it's their stuff and people rip people off and you complain. No way. That's crazy. Anyway, all right, we'll agree to disagree on that. Leaving on that note, next week, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the Meat-O-Meter. We're doing another argument.
Beat.
This is another argument that we've actually got into, which is, what do you consider a big man? Because if you're going by WWE standards, or you're going by what some people consider modern standards. So what do you consider a big man? We're going to find out next week. We're going to have a bunch of options. Please give us some submissions. If you're not sure and you want us to decide, or you want to see what we would think of that person, put them on the list. We'll put them on the list and we'll try to figure out where we rank them next week. Same time, same place. We'll have a fresh live Grand Slam report. I'm pretty excited about next week.
I had a theory I was going to share for Grand Slam, but now I'm not going to because you made me mad.
Well, what about for the fans? Don't they deserve it?
No, you don't get it now.
You don't get it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, same time, same place next week. Hope you join us. Have a great week.
Everything sucks. Enjoy what you can, guys. Have a good weekend.
Oh,